Good morning and a very warm welcome. You're watching Janata Television and this is the English Bulletin with me, Sushant Dhakal. The top stories first. Election Commission starts internal preparations for upcoming polls, plans to open party registration within 2 weeks. Safer Internet Day being observed in 170 countries today. Stakeholders stress on safety of children and teens. Government confirms 130 new cases of coronavirus. Active cases dropped to 1,744 in Nepal. Myanmar's military general defense coup amid mass protest promises new reformed election to the public. And the Australian Open begins with speculative spectators all top seeds safely through into the next round. And now the news in detail. The Election Commission has started internal preparations for the upcoming election. The government has announced a mid-term election for April 30th and May 10th after the President dissolved the lower house upon the recommendation of Prime Minister KP Oli. The Commission is preparing to open party registration within 2 weeks. The Commission will then issue Election Code of Conduct. Works related to collecting voters' list and selecting poll centers have been almost completed according to the Commission. The Commission has set a target to hold the election at a relatively low cost than the last election. The Commission informed the government is ready to release budget for the election soon. Officials at the Election Commission made it clear that there has been no obstruction in their work. Safer Internet Day is being observed all across the globe, including Nepal today. Safer Internet Day is being observed by organizing various awareness programs to make the Internet safer for children and teens in Nepal and 170 other countries. This year is the 18th edition of the Safer Internet Day, which is being observed with the theme Together for a Better Internet. The day calls upon all stakeholders to join together to make the Internet a safer and better place for all, especially for children and young people. Safer Internet Day is expected to work as a platform of cooperation and common coordination between organizations working to raise awareness about the Internet and cyber security among children and teenagers. In Nepal, Child SafeNet has taken the initiative to observe the Safer Internet Day since 2019 in order to protect the country's children from online bullying and cybercrime. A national coordination committee has been formed in order to celebrate Safer Internet Day 2021 in the country. Leaders of the dissident faction of NCP, Sakti Basnet, has accused Prime Minister KP Sharma Oli of reversing the political change. Speaking at a protest rally in Kathmandu yesterday, leader Basnet said that the Prime Minister's move has risked federalism, republican setup and secularism in Nepal. He said that Prime Minister Oli was making an attempt to wipe out all of these achievements.
अब केपी ओलीजीको यो अभियानले नेपालमा संघीयता खतरामा पर्यो, नेपालमा गणतन्त्र खतरामा पर्दैछ, नेपालमा समावेशी समानुपातिक प्रतिनिधित्वको अधिकार जोखिममा पर्दैछ, धर्मनिरपेक्षताको अधिकार जोखिममा पर्दैछ। हो, यी सबै जोखिममा पर्दै गइराखेका छन्।
Leader Basnet said that the Prime Minister's decision to dissolve lower house and to make constitutional appointments has undermined the values of democracy. This is Janata Bulletin. We'll be right back after a short break. Welcome back after the break. We continue with other national news. Active cases of coronavirus in Nepal has dropped to 1,744. According to the Ministry of Health and Population, altogether 268,266 infected persons have recovered from the disease in the country so far. Meanwhile, the government yesterday confirmed 130 new cases of coronavirus across the country. Following the latest round of tests, the total cases of coronavirus in the country have climbed to 272,000 55. According to the ministry, coronavirus claimed 7 more lives across the country yesterday, taking the death toll to 2,045. Nepal is currently among the top 44 countries that have been most affected by the pandemic. The USA tops the list with 27.7 million confirmed cases, followed by India with 10.84 million cases. Coronavirus has infected more than 106.99 million people across the world and claimed over 2.33 million lives. And now the news from the economic front. Remittance inflows increased by 11.1% in the second quarter of the current fiscal year. Nepal Rashtra Bank has stated that the country has received remittance of rupees 495.31 billion as of January 2021. Remittance inflow has increased by 0.6% in the second quarter of the current fiscal year compared to the corresponding period of the previous year. During the review period, the number of Nepalese seeking labor permits for foreign employment decreased by 77.6%. In the first 6 months of the current fiscal year, the balance of payment BOP remained in a surplus of rupees 124.92 billion. The BOP was 26.65 billion in the corresponding period of the previous fiscal year. Foreign exchange reserves have also increased by 6.6% in the first 6 months of the current fiscal year. Nepal Rashtra Bank has stated that the foreign exchange reserves increased to rupees 1,493.75 billion in mid-January. Based on 6 months of imports, the banking sector's foreign exchange reserves are sufficient to support 13.9 months of imports of goods and 12.6 months of imports of goods and services, the central bank has said. Time for a short break here at Janata Bulletin. Stay tuned for international news. Welcome back, and now the international news. The leader responsible for the coup in Myanmar appeared in TV making his first TV address, justifying the latest move amid mass protest. BBC has quoted General Min Aung Hlaing reiterating that country's November election, won in a landslide by the party of detained elected leader Aung San Suu Kyi, had been rigged. The military has already imposed curfews and restrictions in some part of the country, including curfews to limit the protests. The huge protests were held on Monday for a third straight day, along with a nationwide strike to oppose the coup. The general's speech drew angry opposition, with images on social media showing people banging pots and pans in protest in front of television screens, BBC further added. General Min Aung Hlaing's speech, however, was toned down and focused more on the reasons for the coup and less on threats to the protesters. General Min Aung Hlaing, wearing green military uniform, promised new elections and to hand power to the winner. A new reformed election commission would oversee it. You're watching Janata Bulletin, and now the latest from the world of sports. Novak Djokovic started the defense of his Australian Open title by dropping just 6 games in a dominant win over France's Jeremy Chardy in Melbourne. The Serbian top seed eased to a 6-3, 6-1, 6-2 victory against Chardy, who has lost to the Serb on 14 previous occasions. Austrian third seed Dominic Thiem, German sixth seed Alexander Zverev, and Australia's Nick Kyrgios also won their respective matches. The Austrian third seed Dominic Thiem, last year's beaten finalist, started his bid to go a step better with a relatively straightforward win over Kazakhstan's Mikhail Huhushin. Germany's Alexander Zverev overcame some early frustration to fight back and beat American Marcos Giron 6-7, 7-6, 6-3, 6-2. In the women's side, Serena Williams, Naomi Osaka and Bianca Andreescu all won their matches to progress to the next round. The American 39 won her tie 6-1, 6-1 against German Laura Siegemund. US Open champion Naomi Osaka also made a convincing start with a 6-1, 6-2 win over Russia's Anastasia Pavlyuchenkova. We are at the end of Janata Bulletin and the headlines once again. The Election Commission starts internal preparations for upcoming polls, plans to open party registration within 2 weeks. Safer Internet Day being observed in 170 countries today. Stakeholders stress on safety of children and teens. Government confirms 130 new cases of coronavirus. Active cases dropped to 1,744 in Nepal. Myanmar's military general defends coup amid mass protest, promises new reformed election to the public. And Australian Open begins with speculative spectators, all top seeds safely through into the next round. And that's all from the English News Desk for today. You can follow Janata Television and our programs on various social media platforms, including on our website janatasamachar.com. Keep watching Janata Television. Namaste.